Fine. Now, next is skills involved in speaking and listening. It's very, very important questions. What are the skills needed for speaking and listening? See, to be a good speaker, we have to be a good listener first. It means that we have to listen carefully what is the words delivered by, the person front of us, who is standing front of us, right? While we are listening the lecture, we have to give the complete attention to the lecturer so that we can observe his words. Then only we can give the proper feedback. That is the best skill for one of the listening skills, right? Now, in this unit, reading and writing, you have looked into the skills that are needed to make you the good writer and reader. To some extent, this is the easy to understand, for we know that unless we go to school, we do not learn to read or write. Thus, it some seems okay to be taught to read and write, and to be told it requires special efforts. But at one level, all of us speak and listen to people all the time. Some of our parents, some are teachers, school teachers, some are the academic listening and speaking are needed to answer questions, and based on the different between training and awareness. Thus, skills like paying attention to what is saying, what is said, knowing clearly how to highlight a particular issue are important. While it is not possible to develop this in natural context, though these lessons and attempt can be made. What is provided below is one example of exercises that can be help you to develop your speaking skills. But note that this unit is looking at the nature of spoken interaction. So, it means that the particular lesson is saying about what is the basic skills of listening. Means while we are paying attention to the speaker's words, then only we can able to react or reflect back, so that our communication has been said as complete. So we have to give the proper feedback. Then only we can understand the concept. So this is known as what we call face-to-face conversation. Now, what are the speaking skills involved in speaking? This is very, very important question. When we are examine the two words, see here, example is given here. Sheila, Ratna, would you lend me your notes for 2 or least 1 day? It means that keep on, Sheila is giving pauses, right? Adelu, are you understanding what I am trying to say you?
Yeah, madam.
Next is, while we are writing this same thing into the written mode, how it is looking like. See, Ratna, could you lend me your notes for day or 2? I can't find mine. It means that while we are writing, here the sentence will be clear and understanding the concept as crystal. It means that we are able to express our feelings correctly. While coming to in the shortcuts before Sheila spoken, no? Ratna, would you, it means that she is giving a lot of pauses in spoken context. So, in the spoken and written context, what we call sentence constructions would be taken place, no? So, written context will be sophisticated. Why? Because we can able to express our feeling in good manner, right? Or completely. While in the spoken context, it is given, half of understand the half of the concept is missing. Now, another interesting aspects of the first version is the spoken mode is that has words or sounds that do not mean anything. Like jargon words are there, no? So jargon means do not have any meaning. That's all for spoken. So we are wasting some time over there in jargons and interjections like this. At the level we could state these people do not know language and struggling for words. So as we are spoken or interacting to another person, some of the another person is thinking that she may doesn't know the language. That's what she is, and she is giving the so many pauses. But we are writing the written like letters or what we call a piece of writing or piece of text onto the paper, the what we call the person may understand the clear message in that, right? So in these two modes, spoken and written of the same request are even more interesting for analysis and will capture many more features of spoken language. In the spoken mode, the speaker does not seem to know the language at all, for she has started the same sentence in the three different ways. We wonder, and this is followed by, sir, could you? And then actually, sir, we want you to watch the and then they, though nothing had been said to far. So it means that they are giving complete pauses in spoken words. While we are coming to the written, we will give the complete picture of the message. Now, if we examine this text, the detail, we would find that it is most coherent and there are very few mixed up sentences, right? So at the same time, the sentences uttered by the students are very short, but to the point. But in the sentence, while we are speaking, oral speakers, some of the, Anita are you getting my points? What I am trying to say? Unmute yourself, Anita. Yeah, Delo. I am trying to say about difference between spoken and written communication.
Yeah, madam.
Now, next is as computer, another lesson is unit 18. Take out the page number 223 as per my textbook. Okay. In page number 220, what we call 223, it is given as one-way speaking. Page number one-way speaking. Page number is 223.
Yeah.
Yeah. In page number 23, it is given as difference between the spoken face-to-face interaction and one-way speaking. One question is there. What is one-way speaking and what is face-to-face interaction? So simple thing is that one-way speaking is nothing but while we are delivering the lecture, another person won't provide any feedback. He's keep on what we call keep quiet for the time of completion of the lecture. He won't respond or he won't provide the feedback. But in case of face-to-face communication, he provide the immediate feedback. That is known as conversation or dialogue. While your one-way communication is, it's only for the minister's lecture, special talk, and announcements and presentations in the conferences and seminars. Okay, getting this point? While we are going to the conferences and this kind of announcements or special talks and lectures, no? So one-way communication or one-way speaking is taking place. Only one person is speaking, audience are not at all, giving feedback immediately or responding immediately. So types of one-way speakings are very, very important question. Please, according to point of view of examination, note down this question. Given the list of speaking activities, you can be asked to subject them on the face-to-face communication or one-way speaking. See, you have to learn one-way speaking and face-to-face communication. It will cover a entire thing of what we call written difference between the written communication and spoken communication. If we read this question number 18, right? A context which one-way communication takes place. So one-way communication takes place generally, first of all, in school assemblies. In school assemblies, number of talks are delivered by the school principal. No announcements is there, and in the airports and railway stations, lots of announcements are they have declared. No, they would declare generally to the tourist what the travelers they are coming for the journey. No, so that is known as one-way speaking. There will be no chance for speaking immediately by the listener. And the second point is that the second most important type of speaking where no response is expected in the class lecture. More often that teacher and lecturer do not allow any discussion to happen during the lecture. So one-way speaking in the sense that only one speaker is keep on speaking. He won't let the chance or won't allow anybody to speak further during his lecture. Now, the third point is speaking with no expectation or response from the listeners is found in the setting of public lecture or speeches. Memorial lectures, special lectures by eminent persons or specialists or topics of general interest and the speeches by politicians and the common example of these presentations like academic seminars also belong here through a seminar sometimes provide comments on questions from the audience but only after the presentations. See, in the conference, some type of presentation is carry forwarded by the speaker. So he would not let anybody to speak in between. Or when he is reading the academic report of the school or colleges, he won't allow anybody to speak in between. Again, he will give the chance after completion of his presentation. Get this point? This is known as one-way communication or
Yeah.
one-way speaking, right? In another way of one way speaking is TV and radio. See, once the TV program is going on, we cannot interrupt and we cannot do the phone in between or give the channel or what we call give the instructions to channel to stop that program and all. So we cannot do anything in between of TV program. In the same way, some kind of lecture talk is going on in radio. We cannot stop at all as a audience. So that is known as one-way speaking. Get this point,
Yes.
everybody?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, another this implies that language learners and users we have make public speeches or announcements. We should plan first, right out of that need to be said. I needed even rehearse or read out ourselves in the privacy of our homes. What needed to be said that? So it means that before going this type of speakings, we have to do some kind of homeworks to deliver the lectures and all. Now, next one is listening in a spoken interaction. What is listening? Listening is a important and very, very important. See, one good listener can become a good speaker. Do you aware of this fact?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Have you listened carefully, no, Adelu? What's your name complete? Please let me know.
Pabbat Adelu.
What?
Pabbat, P-A-B-B-A-T-H. Pabbat Adelu.
Okay. So we have to listen carefully to be a good speaker. Then only we can speak properly, no? When we understanding the concept. So, as per the examination point of view, they are asking generally what is the purpose of listening. Okay, what is the purpose of listening? They are asking, keep on asking questions about the this one purpose of listening. List the roles and played by the listener in various situations. Find out the difference between them and from the nature. What are the different types of listening and done by the adults and by children? See, I will read out the purpose of listening. Listen it carefully. First one, give example the list of various kinds of things that we do with language. Examine them carefully. We will be dividing this list into categories. Let us call them experiments in a reflection on our English slides. The first one is greet friends, right? Purpose of listening. Big goodbye. While we are saying goodbye, speaking on the phone with a friend, listen to the message that has been left on a cell phone, answering the machine, listening to the lecture, and ask the BAROU counselors for explanation about a different concept. Listen to two friends talking to each other. Happen to hear two teachers talking to each other either about you or another friend. Ask for some information the university or college office. It means that how many times we do listen in our daily routine. See, at the time of, do you have any idea about that, Babar Adelu? Please
Madam?
tell me something, what to listen and how to listen. Casually, what would we listen? See, listening in the same, thinking, acquiring the words inside of us. Okay, somebody is delivering the lecture. We are just acquiring that lecture or adopting lecture in us. That is listening, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So how many, see, Somebody is greeting to us, like saying that good morning, goodbye, and hi and bye. This kind of
Yes.
situation taking place, we are just listening, no? And
Yes, yes.
we are responding later. Before that, we are listening, right?
Yeah.
While your friend is speaking on the phone, you are just listening. And the next situation, some BROU counselors like me are speaking and you are listening. This is another scenario. Another thing is that a university information is giving and you are listening at the university office counter. Next is listening to a panel discussion. What is a panel discussion? See, 4 or 5 members of higher authorities taking the decision on some serious issue. So they are discussing on about that. While if you are being the panel member, as you are a panel member, you are just listening the discussion. Next is discussion the menu with the waiter in a restaurant. See, somebody is discussing discussion going on between the menu and the waiter. Your friend is discussing with the waiter. You are just listening. At the time also you listen. Next is listen to the announcements at the railway station and bus stations. See, generally we would listen the many announcements at the railway stations and airports. No, have you been over there? Have you gone? Ever listen the announcements about that? What kind of announcements they are giving over there?
Regarding in railway station, regarding the movement of the trains, they will announce.
Yeah, timings of the train and what we call it's a area, a place, and where the destination they have to reach and all. Delhi to Mumbai, Delhi to Hyderabad, Delhi to Bangalore, Bangalore to Hyderabad. This kind of railway station announcements are they are issuing. The what we call the route number bus is coming to this way on this time. This kind of announcements are generally taking place. So at the time you
Yeah.
won't say anything, you just listen the words of the announcements, right?
Yes.
Another listening is listening to dialogues and conversation on television or at a cinema theater. See, somebody is big discussing on how the Bahubali movie is there. Now how is the Sir movie is there. Sar movie is released just before, no? So generally two persons are talking about the what we call movie review of the movie Sar. So what you would do, you just listen the comments or compliments about that. So this is also known as listening. It's a process of listening. Next is listen to the listening of food available in the restaurant, listing of the food available in the restaurant. Suppose you would go to some restaurant, somebody like waiter and all come to your side and saying that what they would say. See, they would list out the food categories what they have available. They will read it out and you just listen it. That is another type of listening. Another is listen to cricket commentary. What is that cricket commentary? It's very important. What is that cricket commentary? Anybody? Anjum, Vijaya, Rekha, Lily, Zeenat. Are you listening, ma?
Ma'am, one-way communication, ma'am.
No, now one-way communication completed. Now we are in listening.
Yeah, cricket commentary is something when, the commentators, they speak, we listen, the audience will listen. So it's one-way listening only.
Yes, that is known as one-way listening. So we are listening carefully, right? Now, as coming to the another important question, other roles played by the listener. Page number 233. Please take out the page number 233. It is given roles played by the listener. As a listener, what we have to, what we call, how to be focused on to the listening. Let us examine the list of again given divided into two parts. That is according to the role played by the listener. That is interact, address, and intended to chance listener. Listen to lecture, listen to a panel discussion, listen to announcement at railways or bus stations, listen to dialogues and conversation on television or cinema theater. Now listen to a cricket commentary, listen to a news on radio, television. It's the same thing again they have repeated. Now how to develop the listening skills. The question is given as how to develop the listening skills. See, one exercise or activity is given on page number 242 to enhance your listening skills. Now, important question is one more thing is that sub skills of the listening is given on unit 18. Features of one-way and spoken communication. You can see the write out presentation that you could make your study center so that topic. Sub skills of listening given in your this one. Now page number unit 20th. Please take it off page number 249. Enable and evaluate listening and spoken English.
Page number you said, ma'am?
Page number 250.
250.
Teaching and testing the oral skills. The English language teaching in India has not taken the teaching of oral skills seriously till very recently. So help us to understand why this has been the case, in which a little more closely to the alternative perspectives on the development of the oral skill. We shall identify them traditional and modern perspectives. To enhance our oral skills, we have two perspectives, that is a traditional perspective and the modern approach, right? So this may ask you the important question, that is what is the oral skills and how to develop it. Page number 250.
Page number 250, the current scene, the modern approach. Is that the one?
Yeah, modern approach and traditional perspectives on the enabling the oral skills. Enabling the oral skills. This is the important question. You have to go through with this. See, what is that? Within the language teaching is a distinction made between the two terms of fluency and accuracy. The former referring to helping the learners use the language effectively for communication. The latter focuses on attention on the elements of grammars and phonology. Thus, if you were to ask questions in this format, where you are going, rather than accepted, where you are going. See, certain minor differences are showing how to improve your oral skills, and all some of the examples are given. Just to go through with that. Now, as coming to this one, modern perspective, the sub skills of under listening, including listen to specific information. Sub skills of speaking are modifying language to suit the context. See, if we are taking the language spoken mode, when we are passing communication or message to anybody, or we are involved into the communication, generally, we will be adopt the conversation or words which are equally able to understand by our what we call friend, or what the person we are trying to share the experiences and share the information and feelings. So while we are exchanging the communication, we will modify the language according to their context, right? We
Yes.
would not, we would not go into the detailed terms. We will modify the language into the shortcut one. Next is take part in conversation in relevant matter. As far as it concern, we are speak very little on the as per the subject concern. We won't take any other subject while speaking. Next is listen to what is said and respond suitably. See, sub skills of speaking are one of the feature of this, that we are responding or we are giving the feedback immediately, right? This
Yeah.
is the main feature of spoken or oral context. So in this page number 252, we have this answer. We just go through with this also. This is a modern approach. In the modern approach, they are given for the importance to the fluency. The modern orientation falls within the broad communicative approaches that we have read about earlier. The sub-skills of listening and speaking are listing in the syllabus documents, and attempts are being made to put relevant exercises into a textbooks and follow in the class. See many times what are the speaking skills are and listening skills are given. The question will be the different. You have to write the same answer for that. Why? Because number of times they have given the same context or say your syllabus course. Getting everybody? Anjum, Rekha, Vijaya.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, listening skills and speaking skills are given same as into the right from what we call unit number 16 to 20th. Now, enable the oral skills, some of the teaching possibilities. A problem and solution for testing oral skills. So what is the problem of oral skills? While we are passing information, say it is demotivating if we are not able to what we call express your message, send your or express your communication properly. Then only they may chance of misunderstanding. So this is one of the drawback of oral communication. The problem is much crucial, and when it comes to testing speaking, the formal testing of the speaking may be difficult, if not possible. But here again, let us remember that students answer the questions in class. They do not have questions and seek clarification often. So while some of the teachers are delivering the lecture, some of the students are not taking much interest or ask the what we call generally they did not wanted to be a want to participate into the oral communication. So the focus is not on how students can be evaluated in oral skills, so that some marks can be entered into official register. It is more important for teacher to monitor how they are progressing. Informal testing is a motivating device and also a means of enabling the development of speech skills. It means that while somebody is not able to speak properly, her teacher's duty is to give the what we call motivate the student to speak out much. So it is given some of the tips and tricks to development of oral skills. Now, page number 255, that is enabling oral skills, some self-development possibilities. See how to, in the self-development, how to improve the oral skills. The first one is ignoring irrelevant information and picking up only necessary information. To avoid the or to effective use of oral communication, what we needed? Can anybody? Yeah, please.
What is that, ma'am? Effective? What did you say?
Yes, ma'am. How to improve the oral skills?
Oral skills.
Oral skills is nothing but speaking skills.
Yeah.
The first one is ignoring irrelevant information and picking up only necessary information, right?
Yeah.
Next is listening carefully for people. People may make mistakes and correct themselves. So listening, it means that while speakers are giving in the two-way communication process, we can give the feedback immediately. If you are unable to understand the speaker's words, you can correct over there. The second point, to improve your oral skills. The third point is
listening to tonal quality of utterances.
Yes, ma'am. Like listening carefully for people may make mistakes and correct themselves. Okay, listen them carefully. The third point is listening to tonal quality of utterances. It means that tonal quality means some have different accents, no?
Absolutely.
So on the basis of on the basis of that, they may speak differently, no? The
Yes.
tonal quality of utterances may be the barrier for oral skills. So we have to improve over there also.
For
Next
instance, madam, once again explain that point, madam.
This one, listening to tonal quality of utterances. Yeah. What is that? What is the meaning of tonal quality of utterances? See, somebody has a different accents. No, many accents we have across the India and US have different accents. No, so we speak according to that accents. So if you improve the quality of accents, then the listening skills will be improved automatically.
It's basically we have to listen to carefully to the tone in which accent they speak. Actually, it can be a Telangana accent, it can be a Andhra accent, but the word will be similar. The word will be same, but it can be pronounced in different ways. Telangana accent or Andhra accent. Yeah.
Yeah, yasa ani antam kada. That is yasa. That one. Next is getting gist of conversation or discuss even if switched off for some time. Okay, this is given a GIST. Page number 255 for
page number 253. It is point 4. Enabling oral skills, some self-development possibilities.
Being a listener and a speaker at the same time. So while we are speaking, we are listening also. Like you are speaking, I am listening. While I am speaking, you are listening. So it is two-way process of communication. Communication is taking place. Next is the sixth one is learning to ask appropriate questions in a group discussion. Right? Learning to ask appropriate questions in group discussion. It means that in the classroom, we are assigning some questions to the students and ask them to discuss among themselves. This is also improves the what we call oral skills. Next is learning to rehearse and what we say an interview. So if we suppose we would go to attend any kind of interview, we have to undergo the rehearsal for first. Then only we have to go for the original interview. Right before practicing or before doing homework, we should not go for the interview. Next is knowing how to ask for clarifications from the speaker or interviewer. How to ask clarification from speaker or interviewer? We have to what we call improve that tactics. So up to this lesson is over. Page number 256. We completed this lesson also. Now we'll come to the another this one block. Third block is left out. No, we'll go to the third block to discuss. So as of now, we have discussed the unit number 16, 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th, right?
Yeah.
The nature of spoken communication, the nature of spoken face-to-face interaction, one-way speaking, listening in spoken interaction, enable and evaluating listening, and all we have completed. Now we will move to this one, block 3. We are going back to front, no? Because earlier we have discussed so many things from block 1 and block 2. But at for the block 4 and block 3, we have to discuss, no? So later we'll discuss something about the listening skills in the next class. Meanwhile, we will discuss about written communication. Okay. Page number is 131 in my textbook. Unit number 11. The text we write. Page number 131. The text what we write is the thing that what is the features of that text we write. It's a why we writing actually. What is the main intention to write the piece of writing? See in the newspaper why we read to express ourselves or sharing the information. That is one purpose for writing. So as per the your textbook, it is given as to communicate information, orders or request. Next is to form and maintain social relationship and for ceremonial purpose. It means that for invitation purpose you are writing. As an instrument of action, performing function. It means that report writing. And next is to record events of past. It is straight away saying that record of the past in the sense again it is the newspaper writing or that is known as reporting. Next is to convey ideas, concepts and theories. So it's a research work. To convey ideas and concept theories in the sense it is comes as research work. Next is for self-expression or literature. Self-expression or literature in the for self-expression and literature means what? Here we are expressing our point of view to a particular piece of art that is known as self-expression. Next is to talk about language itself, that is meta language. So various dimensions of language while we are exploring, that is known as meta language. So this is what, okay, page number 132. Please go through with this, what we are writing. Now, what could be the message in writing? This is another point of view of writing. What could be the message? So, this is to inform, though describing and narrating. It is to elaborate or explain. What is expository text? To describe a sequential process or a guide action through a sequence of instructions. Next is to present a point of view of argument and try to persuade the readers to accept it. It's a nothing but it's a writing purpose of advertisement. Okay. So why we are writing these different types of texts? To inform something. It means that that is newspaper. And next is elaborating or explanation. It means that we are submitting the research report. Next is to describing sequential process of guided action or sequential actions. It means that suppose you have purchased certain electrical gadgets. Some manual is giving along with that. You have to read and operate that instructions. That is known as describing sequential process. Next is to present a point of view. It means that something you wanted to advertise some product, you have to persuade the readers to purchase that product. It means that you are approaching readers. So this many of the things you can give by the information by writing. Get this point? What is the purpose of writing? And why we are giving information with writing?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, please read it once. You may it will be more clear for you. Next, as functions of typically associated with writing. What are the functions of writing? It means analyzing more closely. Dictionaries, record story. See, whenever is writing is important, we are why we are writing means writing is for the purpose of storage. Storage in the sense that we are keeping into the records. Writing is so along with the myriads of thousands of years, lots of Talapratra Grantalu will be there, no? So why we are preserving this? Why? Because it is into the written form that for the future reference, we are preserving it, right? For the main purpose of writing is to preserve for the future or reference for the future, right? The first one is the recording the information from the past. The second function of the writing is to analyze the various aspects of the subject or various dimension of the subjects. Suppose somebody is written the what we call a piece of art on the what we call on the Vedas or like sciences or any mathematical subject. So they have stored the concept on into the what we call past records. Now present as a current scholar, we are again exploring the various aspects by reading the same thing. This is another purpose of writing, right? Now, another function of writing is, one type of public writing is common in institutional settings. That is, writing sometimes creates a written text to based on writer's own ideas, summaries, records. See, in the universities and institutional educational institutions, more professors are writing books now. So that books are what we call referred into the future by the scholars. So this is another function of writing. Now, another one more function or another category of writing is, for writing has more than role author. Here again, these are the considerably variations in the degrees of freedom and scope of originality the writer has. See, everybody has a different taste. No, the writer can manipulate the writing according to his taste with compared to the original text. Okay. So page number 135. Are you listening? Please go through with this. It will be more clear for you. Now, in the office or market survey would fall into the category assignments and examination, essay writings, students. See, another purpose of writing is examination. The students are, while we are in the teaching learning process, many students are writing the examination. So that is also function of writing. To evaluate his knowledge, the examiner or teacher will conduct the examination, right? This is also one function of writing, to examine the student. The writing role is author become more evident in the material that most commonly and widely encountered with writers, newspapers, magazines, articles, letters to the editors, assignments, pamphlets, posters, appeals, supports, so on. So different types of articles we are seeing into the different newspapers, magazines, no? That comes under the writing categories, and they perform the different tasks, right? Getting this? Everybody?
Yes, ma'am.
Page number 133. Go through with this. Now, come to the another process of writing. Abilities involved in writing process. So, what generally efforts we have to put to write better, right? See, writing is very challenging nowadays, no? See, previously it was very, very tough task to write everything without any kind of grammatical mistakes. But nowadays, so easy. Why? Because if you are, typing one word, the another word is automatically can be correct itself, right? Wrong words can be corrected by itself due to the software. But even we have to learn what is correct sentence and what is not. That could be understanding only by paying frequent attempts for the writing, right? Are you agree with that point, boys? Guys?
Yes, ma'am. Definitely. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
We
ma'am.
have to keep on practicing writing. Unless and we cannot practice the writing, we cannot understand what is good and what is bad. So, good correct word or what is correct sentence and what is wrong sentence. So, here is given some features of good writing. They are frequently asking this question. Page number 141. Some of the features of good writing. Our everyday perceptions of communication, including the notion of skilled and effective communication, all efforts at communication are not equal, happily and successful. This applies to writing too. It's possible the reader to respond to piece of writing judging is to more or less effective for a variety of reasons. See, while we are writing, what we have to do is we have to put complete focus on reader's test. It means that we have to understand the mentality of the reader. Then only we have to write. If you keep on writing and listener or what we call reader is not able to, taking interest in your piece of art means it totally gets failed, right? It means that you are unable to impress the writer. Your writing piece is not at all good. So while writing, we have to keep in mind about the mentality or interest of the reader. Suppose you wanted to write a book for kids. Again, you are writing something about that is not irrelevant to the kids. You're writing something about the institutional or university based question and what we call subject. The children may not get interest in that. If you go for the children's book, you have to write for the short stories according to their text. So, writers must be practice his writing skills as based on the test of the or what interest of the reader. This is the one of the point of the good writing and good writings. Next is purpose. The most important quality of good writing is the clear and most the reader is the mean for and understanding the text. Get the message to fair degree. This covers grasping the general sense and major ideas, not necessarily. So many other can be listed, but some of them would apply mainly for writing linked to particular purpose and topics. The fact that enable writer to produce such text. This is the question we try to answer the section. Suppose you wanted to sell a product and some company is asking, hiring one writer to write the advertisement which can impress the writer. So what we call the reader think according to the writer and what the product generally what we call reader is able to use the product or not, and reader is generally taking interest or not. This thing keep in mind by the reader, what we call writer, while writing the advertisement. Next is it is given text produced by the writer to his message the communicate reader or readers in difficult, indeed virtually impossible to separate what is from and how it is. When useful, try to distinguish between these two aspects from the perspective of writer's ability. The writer has first to decide to broad topic and purpose the writing. See, before writing, he has to undergo certain changes or edit the piece of writing before publishing it. It means that it is given instructions to the reporter. While publishing some kind of information, they have to undergo about the some editings or mistakes. Generally, would not affect the reader. Now, next is knowledge of the language is undoubtedly crucial here, but there is something more than language involved. See, along with the knowledge, the person or writer must be fully focus on the market and the interest of the reader and mentality of the reader. And while he is issuing the political, while he is dealing with the political issues, he should be very, very careful while publishing his writing piece, right? So this is also a good feature of one of the features of writing. Please read down once again this page number 144. What are the qualities of features of good writing? They are frequently asking these questions in annual examinations. Please mark it important. Getting glory, Anjum.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, please. Very, very important question. Read it 2 or 3 times. Next is components of writing ability, the sub-skills of writing. What are the sub-skills of writing? The writing skills we know generally how to impress the reader and all. That is known as skills of writing. And what are the sub-skills? See, very, very important sub-skills of writing is it is very, very easy, what we call easy concept. Just focus on my words. It will be more clear for you. Now, express ideas clearly in grammatically corrected English. Okay, while we are expressing your point, it should be grammatically correct. See, general rule of the writing material, the writing letter and report is we have to be proper or authentic while writing, right? Next is use appropriate cohesive devices. Cohesive devices in the sense what? Adelu, what is cohesive devices?
Related.
Points, commas, full stops,
Yes,
interjections, conjunctions. This kind of symbols are there. No, how to use that? Colon, semicolons, comma, hyphen. Certain symbols and signs are given into the text. No, we have to use that properly to express our message. That is known as cohesive devices. Get this point? Now organize present ideas in a coherent manner. So likewise, cohesive devices, we have another point, coherent manner. What is coherent? Coherent means logical relationship between one sentence to another sentence. See, when we are conjunct or join these two sentences, we add generally and but no, so that we can understanding that one sentence is relevant to the another sentence. That is known as coherent device. Getting Adelo?
Yeah.
Coherence means and the relationship between two sentences. Cohesive means sounds, symbols and what we call signs, symbols and signs which is come across into the writing.
Yeah.
Now, come to the fourth point, write clearly and comprehensive descriptions of subjective person, situation, organization. Clearly and comprehensive description in the sense, as per the situation, we have to write the piece of writing. Next is write clear amount of events, narrative process and descriptions. So as we know how many types of texts we have, the first one is narrative text, another is descriptive text, another is what we call expository text, and one more is instructive text. I will let you know into the details. So I'll come to the expository text in the sense that it is comes into the category of newspaper. It means that we are exploring into the details. That is known as expository writing. So in expository writing, it is the lengthiest writing. We have to write everything, presenting our arguments and presenting the evidence to our arguments. Suppose you are publishing a report into the newspaper, you have to give the proper what we call evidence. Then only you have to provide what we call present the your publish the your article into the paper. Otherwise, they would not escape. Would not escape. Why? Why? Because it won't be authentic at all. If you provide the evidence, then only it could be authentic news. Otherwise, not. Somebody, if you go for the media report, they are providing evidences, no? Likewise. Next is comparing, contrasting ideas, drawing conclusion, making, evaluate, judging. See, we have to show the judgment also, what is good and what is bad. Suppose you are providing the information about the two parties, you have to give the complete evidence which party is good and why it is good. This kind of information you have to give along with your statement. Now, next is write in a registered and style appropriate to topic and communicative purpose. Write a register and style appropriate to topic of communicative purpose. Suppose if you are writing for giving invitation to anybody, so you will write some kind of poetic language, you know. While you are writing to a letter to a principal, you will be very, very formal and write according to the serious situations. So both the styles are different, no? So adopt the style which is suits to your situation, right? Which does suits to your situation is given. Page number 142, 7th point. Components of writing, the sub-skills of writing. Next, the write in a formal appropriate to letters, notices, reports, diaries, etc. Entries, etc. Write a format for appropriate letters. See, format is very, very important when you are, maintaining the journal and ledger notebook for the content purpose. We have to enter everything into the clearly so that the information can be what we call impart to the addressor completely. Otherwise, not. Next is 9th one, develop outlines and notes into well-structured piece. Outline notes in the sense what? Outlines and notes into a well-structured piece. Suppose while I am delivering the lecture, some important points are given to you, you have to note down immediately and mark it into your textbook letter so that it will be very, very easy for you to understanding the concept, right? So this is known as marking or marking the outlines. Next is page, point number 10, condense a text into a summary. Condense the text into a summary, it means that, see, reports are very big, around 2 to 3 pages, no? We have to give it summary within 1 page or 1.5 page. That is known as condensing. Condensing in the sense, shortcut, short form we are providing of the complete report. Next is complete text. Next is 11th point. edit and revise the draft version of written text. It means that we have to check the corrections. We have to undergo the corrections again and again to get the final draft. Unless we won't correct anything or won't edit anything, our text would not consider good. If we are having some kind of mistakes, generally rules of grammars we are not following the spellings and vocabulary, then it won't be look good. So we have to go under the changes of the writing, right? Now, the first three objectives are very general, but they are capture the essence of writing skills. The point is three closely related to aspects of writing text. Each sentence must express some idea clearly and must also be grammatically correct. However, since text nearly always consists of several sentences, these must be connected. For this appropriate thinking devices, for example, a ma'am into the inverted commas introduced in a sentence. So it means that it is again giving the complete details what we have provided, why we are using the cohesive devices and coherence devices and all. That is given into the details. Page number 142. Right? Components of subskills. See, components of subskills of writing and the features of writing are in the same, right? The topics are given different, but the concept is the same. Okay?
Okay.
Now, come to
Cyclical.
page number, writing as a cyclical process. Writing is as a cyclical process in the sense what? Cyclical process in the sense, see, if we are writing, it would it won't be come to an end. Again, we have to correct that sentence. Again, we have to rewrite the sentence once again. That is known as cyclical process. Suppose one university professor is writing book for this current academic year. Again, this would be last for 3 years. Again, he has to write the another book. So the process of writing is keep on going. That is known as cyclical process. Okay. Review the check how clearly they are and how will fit with the other adjunct sentences. Modify the clear. Often the first version of the more sentences rewritten completely. A much better image of writing comes from the manner of work of creation of the painter who began with the picture of the mind. See, one painter is painting, no? If he do not satisfied with his painting, again he will go back for the correction, undergo for some corrections. Again, he will come back with excellent ideas. Again, he will do the painting with the right from the fresh. He will start freshly. Okay, he will do the fresh start. So in the same way, the writer has to undergo some of the changes if we are not satisfactory with his writings. So this is known as cyclical process. Generally, most of the research scholars, follow this process, cyclical process. Again, correction of the words, again providing the reports. If it is not satisfactory, again they are going for the corrections. Again, they are coming with something new. So in the cyclical process, again, you have to give focus on grammar, vocabulary, and rules of the languages and all. And it should be impressive and it should be, able to easily understand by the readers. It inculcates the interest into the readers. So these are all typical things we have to keep in mind while writing. So this is very, very important cyclical process, page number 12.4. Sorry, point number 12.4, page number 144. Go through with this. Now, another thing is, another important in this is experiences that helps to develop writing sub skills. So what are the experiences that helps us to develop the writing skills? Means reordering scrambled sentences in a passage, total scrambling, partial scrambling. It means that if you are writing something, if you are not able to, it is not able to looking good, we will strike it off. It means that The portion which is not at all good, we will striking off or scramble. That is known as scramble writing. Okay. The discussions that given complexity writing process and the range of specific sub-skills that writer needs to be developed. This category of exercises present the student with the sentence of passage which have been scrambled or jumbled. The task to put them into the back into the proper order and thus recreate the passage. All the sentences are complete in the correct will, means all content is available in the students. See, generally we see the different types of exercises, no? They're given to the students in the approaches, different types of approaches to learning the language, no? And that is